Hey show fam, welcome to another episode of Just Unchained Souls, where it's time to exist in a realm where life can just flourish for you. And for those that are new, we welcome you. On this podcast, we heal our roots of the soul. And we get into conversations that are often overlooked. However, they are needed to bring so much peace and love and flourishment in our life long term. Okay, so we fix that foundation for you, baby, from the ground up. And I'm your host, AmeliaAdair, once again. And we're going to get into today's topic. Okay? Today, we are going to talk about the greed seed. Okay, we're going to break it down in all layers, and we're going to really get some understanding of it so that it doesn't become a problem later on. And so what you have to understand, soul fam, is when you are elevating and growing and you start to receive the blessings and you understand how things work, there's a part of you that enjoys the rewards. You know, we enjoy receiving something big or small, you know, and as we are receiving and growing and flourishing, it is important that we don't feed or receive the greed seed. Okay, so for those that don't know what the greed seed is, we're gonna just shed some light real quick. The greed seed is when you are already fulfilled. You already have it all. And for some reason, you still want more. You are never satisfied. And you have to ask yourself at some point, like, why am I still wanting more and I'm full? I have everything I've asked for. I have everything that I prayed for. What is it in me that still searches for something more? And so that is when you are faced with the greed seed. Okay, greed. And what a lot of people don't understand is greed is very, I'm going to say, dangerous. And I'm going to show you how to notice it in yourself and notice it in others to protect yourself long term. Okay? So the greed seed comes into your life and destroys you because it's invisible. Okay? It's not something you can see right away. It's not something you can just pinpoint. If you was to picture a garden, right, and you have sunflowers and you have roses and you have all these beautiful fruit, right, you really couldn't see if you had a greed flower, you know, like a greed seed that grew, because it hides in plain sight, right? And when it's ready to attack is when you see it. Okay, so you'll be going through your garden and planting everything and smelling your flowers, and you won't never know that the greed seed is sitting right next to you. You may touch it, you may do whatever you want. You won't know it's there until it's ready to attack. And that is what's so dangerous about the greed seed, so fam. Because let's talk about it in ourselves before we even look at others. When the greed seed is in you and you're trying to move forward and grow and be better and things like that, and it comes a moment where your greed starts to kick in, you don't notice right away that it's greed. And when it's time for you to say no, you don't. And what happens is when you don't say no to that person, place, or thing you may be trying to attain, and you say yes, it comes in and funks up the place, right? It starts spraying disaster everywhere. So let me break it down for you a little bit more. So, fam, say you are say you are needing help, right? Say you need help and you pray and you say, Goddess, please send me some assistance to maintain this life that I am building, right? And so you receive help, right? You get the help and you notice the benefits of getting someone to help you, right? And so you start to look like, wow, if I get this one to help me, and I can multiply, I could get about 2, 3, 4, 5, and you start getting a little greedy because it's more than you can handle at the moment, So you're like, okay, let me get about 2 or 3, and work smarter, not harder, right? However, you may not be in that place to maintain 2 or 3 other people to help you. And so when you get what it is that you're asking for and you start taking more than what it is you asked for, that's when you'll start to see things turn, right? Because although you done everything right and you followed all the steps, that second or third person that came to quote unquote help actually comes to destroy you because they don't fit. They don't fit. It's too much for your plate. Your plate is only requiring one other person. However, when you start adding on 2 or 3, it's too much for anyone to handle. That's when you think about it. Like when you think about, let's talk about relationships real quick. And you think about those that, like to have multiple women or multiple men, right? So that they're never really alone. And they notice, wow, I can manipulate this person. I can get stuff from this person. I can get stuff from this person. And you start to see greed in those areas because they want the benefits of these women, right? They want to have multiple women or multiple men because they want the benefits. They want the connections. They want the extra affection, the extra love, right? The problem is, right, long term, someone's going to start to feel a shortage because you can only spread yourself but so thin, right? You can only be at one place at one time physically, right? And so when you try to create these multiple relationships and balance them out, someone's going to be short with time. And what happens long term over time? Those that were with you begin to turn against you. And so what happens when they start to turn against you, you start to lose instead of gain, right? Because you got greedy. You got what you collected, people for whatever it is that you need, instead of relying on one individual to fulfill that position, right? Same thing with money. Some of us, we think we need 4 or 5 different streams of income, and we don't even have 4 or 5, overdue bills. Let's say it like that. And so what happens when you start to just accumulate all of this money and you don't really source it the way you should, you end up just having a bank account of money and no flow. And you end up living your life just trying to keep this number, $ in your account, and you quickly forget that you cannot take it with you. So yeah, it may be sweet to say, whew, I got $20,000. Okay. Do you have employees? Do you have family? Are you raising your family with that $20,000? Are you building something for people to operate in? What are you doing with $20,000? How is $20,000 benefiting the world? We see how it benefits you. How is $20,000 benefiting the world? And there is always room for someone else to use a little more money, right? And sometimes giving money isn't the solution, right? However, building resources for people to stand on their own feet is okay. We forget that money is a tool. Money is a tool. And we get so greedy with money as if, like, at the end of the day, we're going to go, it's going to be our time to leave Earth. And we're going to say, hey, God, I got $20,000. I got $1 million. And you stand there alone with that $1 million. What do you think is going to happen after that? You got, because you got to understand, God is going to say, oh, wow, you got $1 million. Wow. Now, what did you do with that $1 million? And he's going to look at his other children that you were in contact with. And he's going to wonder, nothing in your brain triggered or developed a thought to be a brother, be a neighbor. It's a very sad thing to see. And when we put more value on our relationships and we hold hands together and we don't let money rule our day, we start to feel a place of gratitude that money cannot buy. Money can buy you shoes and clothes and food. However, a kind heart where someone can just confide in you for 5 minutes, that'll probably change their life for 5 years, is way more fulfilling. If I go and I get a pair of shoes that I've been wanting to get, and I get them shoes and I put them shoes on, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy in that moment. I'm going to be like, ooh, I got these shoes. It went with my outfit. And, I'm going to do a little dance. I might do a little snap finger. I'll be like, woo, yeah. Now, if somebody come to me and say, Amelia, what you told me has really helped move my life. And I am much more peaceful. Thank you. That thank you will replace me dancing in some shoes any day. How to know you have a greed seed, right? Because maybe it's tied to you from whatever reason. No fingers pointed. We take responsibility. To know you have the greed seed is to really practice telling someone no when the seat is filled. It becomes a little difficult because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and what they may have may sound great. However, if you made a choice that this person is going to be a partner, this person is going to be a friend, this person is going to be your job, and this is where you're going to be. And when something else come and try to pull you off of that, being able to say no and not feel like you'll be missing something. Because oftentimes we'll say no and then we'll sit back like, hey, I could be, well, this person, I could do this. And with that person, I could do that. And this person, you start looking at all the possibilities, forgetting how strong you are when you spend your time with one person at a time. Like even if you relate it to coaching, I can't coach 7 people in a day. If 7 people try to come to me and want me to coach them, I will be selling myself short. I'm going to have to say no. Book tomorrow. Book next week. And there's a possibility that person may not book at all. And I got to understand, like, that's okay. That's okay. Because instead of me being greedy and trying to just get that money real quick, I'm going to end up showing up to that session drained out and tired. And I may say something that she ain't ready to hear. I might not be on my game. We like to be on our game, meaning like we fully in that moment. And a great way to know that someone else may have a greed seed is to definitely give it time. Give it time. Don't go looking for it. Sometimes we want to be playing an investigator role and we want to be trying to check everything off the list. Listen, how to make sure someone else don't have that greed seed is to make sure you don't have that greed seed. Because you will attract what you are. And one of the biggest eye openers was not overjudging when we meet new people for whatever position it is, a relationship, friendship, job, networking, whatever it may be. Not overjudging what comes in front of you and being quick to cut the cord. Like, give this person grace. You will want someone to give you grace. See why you connected. See if it's meant to be long term or short term. And pray on it. We pray for the relationships and then we forget to pray when we in them. And everything doesn't have to be voiced. You could pray in the back. Me pray in the back. Because I know everybody may not have the ability to not overjudge. So let me pray behind the scenes to make sure I know what's happening. To make sure I'm always steady on my path and I don't pick up baggage. Killing the greed seed can be difficult because of that feeling of receiving a pleasure. And you have to take your time and be patient with yourself. Understanding of, okay, why I even have this seed? How did I even get this seed? You know, what's going on? Why I got this? What's happening? And a lot of it stems from just never having, like, growing up and just never having it. Like, if you've been through some things, you understand, like, our parents, they always have stuff to give us. So when they gave us something, it was like, ooh, thank you. And then when you get older, it's be like, I could get it myself. Let me make sure I'm never having a shortage. And we start trying to never have a shortage so bad that we really get greedy. So just understanding, like, all right, you are in a new place. If a shortage come, you got the ability to get through it. Like, sometimes we too afraid of a shortage. You clearly built for it. Let that shortage come. One thing, I'll be like, let that shortage come. If it come, I'ma pray. Because do you truly trust your prayers? You got to ask yourself, do you trust your prayers? Or you just all talk? You know, when we was younger, right, we would act one way in front of our parents. And then when we out that house and we with our friends, all rules are off, right? We doing whatever we want to do. We being grown. We grown. What? My mama ain't here. I'm doing what I want, when I want, how I want. You know, then I get back in the house. All right, let me listen to this. We know how to switch that switch on and off real well. We didn't develop that skill. Didn't even know we developed that skill. And then take that skill into God's house. Not understanding that don't apply in this realm. You can't just be turning it. I mean, you can. You can. It would just be very foolish. Like, all right, I'm gonna cut the God switch on when I need it. Then I'm gonna cut the switch off when I don't need it. When I'm not in God's presence. God's presence is consistent. The presence of your God. The presence of your goddess is consistent. And you got to put that in your forefront. So if it's a shortage, guess what? The presence, we're going to call it the POG. The POG is consistent. So the fear of a shortage cannot exist. Greed stems from fear. We don't have no chicken running our show. We don't have no coward running the show. So the fear of a shortage, need I say more? It's time to exist in a realm where life can just flourish for you. I'm your host, Amelia.Adair. Grateful to be here. We got some great stuff coming there. Woo! And you already